Ubizo Lungibize engalweni Ngiyokhalela bani nayi iphimbo lami liphindaphinde entabeni Ngithi inyawo zami ngibeleze kulomhlaba nemsini Ngifunana noxolo engalweni Kukhaliswa emaye emzini kamkhulu umkhondolo usekhaya.
Sawubona to you, sawubona to yours, from one great spirit to another. Igama lami uThulane Malevu. Welcome to Ubizo. Today we speak of blood and sun, of lineage and light. We speak of a truth the world tried so hard to blanch and a memory they couldn't fully burn. This episode is titled Children of the Sun, the Golden Gene of Alkebulan. We will move through history, spirit and science. We will expose the lies, resurrect the memory, and teach how the children of Alkebulan can own their biology as prophecy. You were told that you come from slaves, as if origin is destiny. That lie, so small and convenient for those who profit from your forgetfulness. The deeper truth is, however, twofold and glorious. First, this land is ancient. It cradled humankind. Our bones, our songs, our first maps are buried in this soil. Alkebulan held the first lungs of humankind. That is not a metaphor. That is a beginning. Second, we carry in our bodies the living record of that beginning, not merely DNA as chemistry, but DNA as story, adaptations to sunlight, to rhythm, to the ecology of home, epigenetic inscriptions written by trauma and ritual, resilience encoded across generations. Therefore, when I say golden gene, I mean more than melanin. I mean the constellation of traits, physiological, psychological, spiritual, shaped by place, by survival, and by sacred relationship with the sun, the soil, and the seasons. This is not vanity. It is reclamation. Inzalo yelanga ayikhohlwa ilanga layo. The offspring of the sun do not forget their sun. Colonial science dressed itself in objectivity while it wrote us into inferiority. It measured human worth in the vocabulary of their tools and then declared the rest primitive. They took our names, our languages, our calendars, and then trained new generations to look at their own skin and see shame. But erasure is a blunt instrument. It removes pages, not the book. The memory survives in language, words that name plants, stars, and medicines. The memory survives in rhythm, dance, drumming, breathing patterns. The memory survives in ritual, rite of passage, soil keeping, libation. The memory survives in biology, resilience to solar intensity, metabolic rhythms aligned to local seasons. They could not change our blood, they could only misname it. They stole the ledger and rewrote your name, but the marrow read the original script. The sun remembered you when the books forget. We speak of genetics not to reduce the sacred to chart, but to bridge knowledge. Your body is a living archive. Two scientific ideas are useful here, not to be worshipped, but to be understood. Number one, lineage and adaptation. Human populations carry markers of the environments that they inhabited for generations. Skin pigmentation, vitamin D metabolism, hair form, and other traits were shaped by long-term relationships with sun and land. Those traits are adaptations, expressions of survival and wisdom. Number two, epigenetics. Trauma and environment can alter genes across, or rather gene express across generations. That means the effects of history, famine, displacement, ritual, healing can be written into our biology, but this is not fatalism. Just as harmful inscriptions can persist, healing inscriptions can too. Science is a language, just not the only one. We will not make scientific claims as final truth, nor shall we take it. We will use them to emphasize a spiritual point. Your body is not a problem to be fixed. It is a library to be read and to be honored. There's a Zulu idiom, something to the effect of, imizimba yethu iyathetha uma silalela. Our bodies speak when we listen. When we say golden gene, we name a constellation, melanin, the bio armor that carries light, protect, and interact with the sun in sacred ways. It's an organ of living poetry, not a mark of curse. Circadian and seasonal alignment, bodies turned to ancestral rhythms, planting, fasting, hunting, that modern times often disrupt. Number 3, microbiome and diet memory. Our traditional foods carried microbiomes supportive of health that were displaced by processed imports. Number 4, resilience markers. Physiological and cultural strategies that preserve communities across storms, drought, and displacement. Number 5, cultural cognition. Patterns of communal memory, oral numeracy, navigational intelligence, music-based mathematics, cognitive traits formed and reinforced across generations. This is an inheritance of light and labor. It is sacred commons. There is a gold that runs deeper than metal. It runs in the blood that learned how to bend but never break. It remembers the pulse of rivers and names of constellations. It hums the first music of the world. Reclamation is both ceremony and policy. Here are practices, spiritual, cultural, and material, that restore lineage and health. Number 1, ritual of remembering. Hold community ceremonies that honor ancestors, that mark seasons, observe September 23rd, and retell origin stories. Libation, song, and naming anchor biology in story. Number 2, ancestral nutrition. Recover traditional diets, whole grains, indigenous vegetables, fermented foods, and teach children the food of medicine. The medicine of food, rather. Rebuild seed banks and community gardens. Number 3, rhythm restoration. Reclaim circadian and seasonal rhythms. Slow Saturdays, actually every day should be slow. Community work days, communal feasts aligned with local seasons, and practices of prolonged stillness and fasting. Number 4, epigenetic repair. Use community mental health practices, collective mourning, ritual cleansing, art therapy, intergenerational storytelling to heal trauma not only psychologically, but biologically over time as well. Number 5, language and naming. Teach children ancestral names for stars, plants, constellations. Naming is a form of genetic prayer. It recodes memory into the child. Number 6, scientific partnership. Build research led by Alkebulan scientists and healers to study local health in culturally respectful ways. Biobanks, community genomics with consent, and projects that center indigenous epistemologies. I hope I'm pronouncing that well. Number 7, repatriation of knowledge. Return stolen seeds, artifacts, and texts. Re-establish learning centers that teach both ancestral science and modern specialties. Number 8, cultural affirmation. Music, film, and literature that celebrate lineage. Policies that protect traditional knowledge from extraction and patenting. Ukuhlanzeka kwegazi kuqala enhliziyweni. Cleansing of the blood begins in the heart. This week, gather 3 people, a child, an elder, and a friend. At dawn, Do this simple ritual. Light a small fire or candle, pour a little water on the earth rather, and say the names of at least 3 ancestors, known or imagined. Plant a seed together, explain why you chose it, and tell one story about your people. Each person says aloud one gift from their body they are thankful for: breath, sight, strength, rhythm. Walk in silence for 5 minutes, and with a song or a single drum beat. These small acts are biological education. They reorder the heart and slowly the body. Children of the sun, your biology is not your burden, it is your testament. Your skin, your rhythm, your songs are stems of origin. They are proof that despite theft, despite propaganda, despite centuries of being taught to forget, you remain. This is not science for scoreboard. This is science for soul. Reclaiming the golden gene is not about arrogance. It's about remembering the currency you were born with: light, story, and belonging. Therefore, great children of Alkebulan, stand tall, plant names, teach children the true map, protect your seeds, sing the stars awake. This is about remembering the currency that you were born with: light, story, and belonging. Until next time, okuhle, umusa, kanye nokukhanya ekuhambeni kwakho. Light, mercy, and blessings upon your journey.